Hi, Mark here for the Kensington Minute. Now, this is a very tough one. If you know who he is, you really know your stuff. He is a lesser known American who spied for the Soviet Union, but he may have been as amoral as any of the famous traitors, many of whom we profiled in the Kensington Minute. He was born in Lithuania in 1885 and came to the Lower East Side as a small boy. Poverty, poverty. Well, he pulled himself out of poverty and put himself through college and law school while supporting his parents. Then he entered politics and began to establish himself as an anti-subversive. Some credit is given to him for popularizing the term un-American activities. In 1946, he left Congress to serve on New York's Supreme Court, and he served there until he died in 1954. He was also a volunteer spy for the Soviet Union. He is the only known congressman who was under the operational control of Moscow. Do you know who he was? He was Samuel Dickstein, and he volunteered his service to the NKVD for cash payments. There's no evidence that he was ever a committed communist. Like Aldrich, Ames, and Robert Hanssen, he seemed only to be interested in money, lots of money. Before he went on the Soviet payroll, he took payments from his constituents to get them citizen papers, strictly illegal. An NKVD operative described Dickstein as, quote, heading a criminal gang that was involved in shady businesses, selling passports, illegal smuggling of people, unquote. So, he was a crook, and that is exactly what the NKVD called him. Literally, they gave him the name Vor, which is Russian for crook, which proves that even Stalin's KGB had a sense of humor. Well, he served the Soviets by alerting the American public to the rising Nazi menace in Europe and in the United States. All right, so far, score one for Vor. He also decried the persecutions of religions in the Soviet Union. Now, this gave him a perfect cover. In 1934, he became involved in what became called as the House Un-American Activities Committee, or HUAC. Its initial mission was to expose Nazi influence in the United States at the behest of the Soviet Union, and he was named its vice chair. Only later did HUAC's focus shift towards identifying communists. HUAC was created by a communist spy. Yes, that's a historic truth. In 1946, he became a justice in New York's Supreme Court and stayed there until he died. His constituents were proud of his service. In 1964, his old home plot was christened Samuel Dickstein Plaza. And all of this made perfect sense because nobody outside the Soviet Union knew he was a spy. However, in 1999, Alan Weinstein published The Haunted Wood, Soviet Espionage in America, the Stalin Era. It was then that identity was revealed, and Dickstein had largely been forgotten by then. There was an attempt to change the name of the plaza, holding his namesake, but it went nowhere. So why didn't the FBI or HUAC, which he created, catch on to him? He had the perfect cover, just as Ames and Hanssen had perfect covers. He was an anti-Nazi who took occasional swipes at Moscow to maintain his credibility. Dickstein pulled in around $12,000 for his services. That equates to about $200,000 when adjusted for inflation. He got away with it completely. He paid no price whatsoever for his treason. And that's too bad. It's just too bad. And this is not rare in our business. This Kensington Minute does not reflect the official position of the United States government. Take the Kensington Challenge. Out here.